Okay, go ahead. Hi, I'm Ms. Harris. Teach math here at Clark North.
Hello, Ms. Harris.
Hello.
Well, I came to ask you some questions about racism in America today.
Okay.
Okay for me to ask some questions.
Sounds good.
All right. So my first question to you is, do you think racism has changed from slavery to now, or why?
Yes, it has changed since slavery to now, where back in the slavery days or even the early 1900s up until about 1960-ish with the civil rights movement, that blacks have been, physically brutalized by racism, whether it's lynching, whether it's torturing their houses and their businesses. Now, they no longer do it physically, but emotionally. We're still going through the mentality of racism in this country.
Okay. Have you had any encounters with racist people?
Oh yes. Oh my goodness.
Can you elaborate on that?
I really can't because of my position here at the school, but I will say that racism is everywhere, in the workplace, out in the community, everywhere. I would not like to say any specific things that I've gone through, but I can let's just paint a picture. I'm the only African American teacher in the math department. Therefore, there are several things that, let's just say isolation, different things like that, that's all I can say right now. I'm sorry.
I can understand.
Yeah.
Do you think Missouri is a racist state?
Oh, yes. Racist. And you know why? Because when it came into the Union, it was a slave state. And those mentalities are still here today. Even though we were emancipated back in 1865, it still has that mentality of a slave state, especially when you go out into the rural areas of Missouri. Oh, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some burning crosses, some hoods, or whatever in Missouri. Yes.
All right. Okay, what do you think about the Black Lives Matter movement?
I think it's a wonderful movement because it brings attention to the fact that racism still exists in this country and that black people their lives are not viewed as equal as non-black people. Oh, well, I'll just put it, than white people. Because you can see in the media, by what's been going on with all the shootings, how people view black lives as opposed to white lives. I mean, it's just there. And one thing, Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that we don't care about all lives. That's just a bunch of, you know what. What it is that we want to bring attention to the fact that black lives are not viewed as being as important as other lives. That's what that means. Okay, go ahead.
How do you feel about the hateful response to the movement throughout social media?
I think it's terrible. I think it's horrible. But you know what? I'm not surprised. Things have been going on. Whenever there is a movement to change the mentality of this country, people are going to resist. There's going to be backlash. Back in the 60s, that's when they were protesting. Well, they were doing more physical things by, water hoses and dogs biting people, protesters and stuff. Now, because we have social media, the lash out is in the media. So they're still doing verbal attacks. No more physical attacks. But the verbal attacks there, and I'm sorry, that hurts just as much as if you've been bitten by a dog or sprayed with a hose. But yeah, I think it's horrible.
Do you think the peaceful protests will help?
I think it will because it will continue to bring to the forefront. And peaceful protests, they interrupt the normal, daily lives of people that they have to take notice. And if more people protest, like if you have 500,000 people protesting something, you have to take note of that. So yes, I think it does help.
Thank you for that. We learned a lot from you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure thing.
All right. As a teacher, I really am impressed with the African American students of this school, how they have taken a stance against it, how they have, even through adverse situations, standing their ground on still saying Black Lives Matter. And this is something that you all are going to be dealing with for the rest of your lives. And me as an older person and saying you as a younger person, you are the next generation. You're the ones that's going to take the mantle and run with it. And don't let it go, because this is now your time to make your voice to be heard and for you to take a stance. And hopefully now, because we've been going through this for decades, hopefully now things will start to change, because people are not going to let this down. Thank you, and thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm glad to meet you. Okay, Chris, cut.